All right.
Thank you. Notice this meeting will be conducted as a hybrid meeting as follows. All participants may attend in person or remotely as follows: via computer, tablet, or smartphone, via phone. Please refer to further information. I'm Enid Lapellis. It is June 7. Good evening. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since we're still, it's a hybrid meeting, so let me call out people's names. I see Sean. Tony? I can see, is Tony up there?
Here.
I'm sure he's, okay. Kevin? Do we have to call Kevin?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Terry Rooney? Terry Rooney? All right, we'll see what happens with him. I see John, I see myself, Jason, Dee Dee, and I see Jen. So right this minute, there's 8 members, and we're just waiting for Terry Rooney.
Mr. Rooney is in person. I see him walking in now.
Oh, okay. Because you said it, and I'm going, I don't see him. Okay, thank you. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Communications, I hereby ask that communications A and B be referenced in the minutes of the meeting. No problem. Public participation? Don't see anybody, Mr. Kellogg. Do you see anybody? Or?
Well, we have some callers that may be from the public, so if there's anyone on from the public, please, who wishes to speak, unmute yourself prior to speaking. Seeing none.
Okay. For new business, we have one resolution. Mr. Reed, Mr. O'Rourke, 21-66.
I move that we accept the following resolution. Resolution 21-66, resolve that Kenneth M. Kellogg, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the Corona Local Fiscal Recovery Fund Award terms and conditions, including the assurances of compliance with civil rights requirements and any associated documents by and between the U.S. Department of Treasury for recovery funds pursuant to the American Rescue Plan Act.
Seconded.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, second by Mr. Mauer?
Yep.
Correct? Okay, thank you. Discussion, Mr. Kellogg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I just wanted to preface thanking the chair for calling this special meeting at my request, and for the council members making themselves available on short notice. As I indicated in my cover memo, I got a notice last week, midweek, from the Connecticut Office of Policy and Management in regards to the American Rescue Plan Act funds pursuant to that from the U.S. Treasury. And the good news is that they confirmed some of the figures that had been disseminated that were kind of estimates or educated estimates at the time. The good news is it still totals just over $5.7 million, which comes from a couple different categories, which I indicated in my memo. We would receive the total funds in 2 tranches. Half would come very quickly, within 30 days, and the other 12 months following. We are still very much in the weeds of trying to gather as much information as we can in terms of how the funds can be used. The U.S. Treasury released the guidance or the rules on this, which is 151 pages long. We have been, I and others, finance, have been attending webinars put on by CCM and others to try and make sure we're understanding the language in that. Further plans need to be developed and will be certainly discussed in terms of how we ultimately propose to utilize these funds. However, in order to remain eligible, we were advised that we had to certify our acceptance of the terms and conditions that are in your packet no later than 5 p.m. on June 9th. There are a lot of things that we got some advance warning on. This was not one of them. So that's the nature of the kind of last minute need for a special meeting. That said, the actual terms and conditions that we have to agree to have been reviewed by the town attorney. I think you have his memo in that regard. Additionally, it was important that I think this was of a significant magnitude item, and given that there was enough time to call a special meeting and have the council act on it, that was my preference as opposed to acting on it under prior authorizations. I thought, it was important to do it this way, given we have certainly far less restrictions than we had back then. So that's, I think, it in regards to this, unless there's any questions. I'd ask that you obviously pass this resolution so we can get this into OPM and remain eligible for over $5.7 million for our town.
Thank you. So any other questions or discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just that this did go through LNA. We did have a special meeting prior to this and was passed unanimously 3-0 to come forward to council as per the rules of council.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Voting on this resolution? Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs.
Mr. Kellogg?
Yep.
Just for the record, this money, the 30 days, the first part of it will go where?
I'm sorry, the what?
Where will the money go?
It'll go in the general fund, but will not be able to, utilize it until we have a plan to utilize it, but it will.
Just so it's on the record, it goes into the general fund.
Yeah, I haven't discussed that mechanics of it specifically with Mr. Banofsky or Mr. O'Hara, but there's nowhere else really. It's not going to be, it's not like it can be spent until we have a plan in place, but certainly we would want to have it earning the minimal interest that we're earning already, and that would be in the general fund. That would be in that. It's going to get wired to our normal, general fund bank accounts, and so I'm sure it'll be. Ron may. I would expect that they'll probably characterize it in some fashion of that it is somehow. I don't want to say encumbered, but it is allocated as part of the American Rescue Plan Act funds, so that it's very clear that that's segregated from, it's obviously segregated from operating budget funds available and everything else.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted clarification on that.
Any other questions or discussion? Otherwise, we're ready to vote. All in favor of this resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. In the remote. So this passes. Okay, thank you. So this passes 9-0. Thank you. I don't see any, we're ready for adjournment. I don't see anybody else out there. So I'm adjourning this meeting at 6:10 p.m. Thank you.